Hi guys, welcome back everybody. We're going to look at the fabulous Photoshop mixer brush, and we can employ this tool to create really rather cool and interesting realistic sort of paint techniques, and we're going to go over how to sort of do this in this lesson. Obviously you'll want a subject that you want to work with, and we're going to get started. Now the mixer brush tends to work like an actual paint. Your mixer brush is right there, and what you'll want to do is you actually paint over the canvas and sort of simulate paint pressure. Now I'm just going to demonstrate this first. So it's going to pick up this paint here and drag it through to create this sort of wet in wet look like so. Now one thing I find is that I want to get the right brush. Any brush will work, but some tend to look better than others. So I'm just going to go and show you where to find that brush. Now in your brush settings over here, here's my setup, my brushes. I'm going to go ahead and load these legacy brushes. These are the ones that sort of are hidden inside of Photoshop. And I'm going to say, okay, now these are brushes that you'll have in here. Now all sorts of goodies in here. I'm going to go into my default brushes, and what I'm looking for is, I think that's not the one, round soft fan brush. That's the one, the round fan stiff thin bristles. Okay, now because that brush is the one I want to use, and what I tend to do with Photoshop is I create a little folder with my own favourite brushes in it. And so, you know, if you want to make a new group, you can do so, and you can create that group and then drag the brushes that you really like to use into that folder, because I find that I find that we can all have too many brushes if such a thing exists. So there's my fan brush now. That's the one I'm going to be using. Alright, and so you have settings here. Now you've got cleaning the brush after every stroke, and you've got loading the brush. I've got both of these turned off. You can play with the settings of this thing, but essentially what you're doing is you're treating this like a canvas of wet paint, and you can drag through your subject and you're getting this really nice sort of painted effect now, and it's picking up colours and sort of just giving me that look of a wet painting. And it's just a really fabulous tool. And the trick to this, make sure that you're leaving plenty of those brush marks. I think that's what really sells the piece. Make sure that you get plenty of that sort of evident line work or that brush work, and it looks authentic that way. So, you know, make sure it looks like a painting. You don't want it to look too smooth and perfect, you know, so you're just going over your subject and really just getting that lovely painted look. And it's just a wonderful tool. Just painting, as I say, get lots of that line work in it. Make it look like it's a painting. There's no point otherwise. It's got to look very sort of like by hand and mess and strokes and things. So, and another thing you want to do, make sure that you cover the entire canvas. That's another thing. So, if you sort of leave areas, it'll look a bit telltale, it'll look a little bit false. So you really want to cover the entire surface and get all the nuances, scaling your brush down and just building it up and just getting those strokes in there. So that's just a beautiful tool. And so you just keep building it up and cover the entire canvas with your brushwork. Experiment with some of these settings up here. I tend to not do too much with this. I pretty much keep those two turned off and just start painting it away. And just so take your time, make something nice with this. So after a while, a bit of time and effort, you'll be able to build it up into this really gorgeous wet oil paint look. Look, that's the mixer brush, and getting the right brush for the job is always an important thing to do. Okay guys, so I hope that helps, and fantastic. I'll see you all in the lesson.